Please welcome Sam Witwer! And along with my candy, he brought his own prizes that we may be giving away later on, so we'll stay tuned. Thank you, young man. It's so nice to work with the gentleman.
Yo.
All right.
Hello.
Hola.
Hello, brother.
How are you? This one?
Yeah, that one.
Cool.
So, bro, welcome to Ocala.
Yes, thank you.
So glad to have you on here. Oh, man, we've been doing these virtually for a couple of years. First time we've seen each other in person for a while. It's very nice. How have you been?
Okay, I've been all right. Yeah. I feel good. How are you?
I am well. Cannot complain. You know what? This is the first time I think we've had an actual one-on-one for like several years. So what I'd love to do is, for the audience, let's go back to the beginning. Let's hear the origin story. How'd you get started out? Because I know you were always into fandom things, and then what pulled you into being a performer?
Accident. I became a performer because that's really all I could do, I think. My grades weren't the best, but I was always into music, drama, or plays. And then someone, I guess, got the bright idea, my parents, I guess, to force me to audition for schools to learn how to do these things. One of the schools I auditioned for was Juilliard, and then I got in. And I think I got in because I wasn't trying to get in. I was like, everyone was wearing like turtlenecks and stuff, and they were like all super fancy, like all these young acting kids, and I had like long hair and ripped jeans and a t-shirt. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I guess they liked that. They were like, that guy, the guy that doesn't want to be here, him. So.
And then I pulled on there. You absolutely hit the ground running. Now you've always been a fan. You've always been a fan.
Huge fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's you've been lucky enough to actually cross into being a part of all these fandoms that you've enjoyed. You know, like Star Wars. You dabbled in Star Trek a little bit.
Yep.
Oops, sorry. You've done a space show, and you did the other space show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've been painting, because I'm also a gamer, D&D and stuff like that, Dungeons & Dragons, so I was painting all these Star Wars miniatures. And I'm constantly bothering, like, Dave Filoni, sending him pictures of Star Wars minis that I've painted. And it should tell you everything you need to know about that guy, that, like, he's so busy. You reach out to him, hey, how's it going? Hey, love the show. That's awesome. Oh, how's everything? How's your dog? But if you send him pictures of minis you've painted, he's like, here, coach, check it out. I did this Voltron thing. What do you think about that? He'll immediately write you back. It's amazing. So he's one of us, Like, it's hilarious, because it's not like he doesn't care. He's just busy. Like, I don't have time. You go through text and I'll get back to that later, and then you never do. But apparently, if he sees a painted mini, he's like, whoa. Oh, okay. Cool. Okay.
I don't know how he does it. The guy's absolutely in motion. So.
I painted my first Darth Mauls just before I came here. I've been painting these things for years now. I've painted easily 300 of these things, and I have not had the courage to attempt them all yet. And I did it. And it was really good. I was very happy.
All right.
I'm giving my thank you. More of that. I deserve that. No, I got the lines really fine. His head is like the size of a pin needle.
I have two red ones.
Yeah. And I got the tattoo lines really fine. It looks really good. And I'm working up the courage for Ahsoka.
Ooh.
So I'm like, now that I got Maul, I'm like, well, he's got to talk trash to someone. So.
Nice.
There you have it. Again, so much work Star Wars related. In all the sessions, what's been the craziest moment you've had in the movie?
craziest moment I had.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All of them. It's always crazy. I mean, when we were first doing this space show, and doing a space character, there was this thing where this space character had spider legs that I was doing, and the script said that he was saying crazy stuff, but it didn't say what he said. The script did not say what he said. So I wrote down a bunch of weird jottings and then just let her rip when we were doing the takes. So pretty much in that first episode of the space show with the spider guy, everything that comes out of his mouth except for his last line is me going crazy. So yeah, that was crazy. And I thought I was gonna get fired because everyone was like, you know, and I was just making all kinds of sounds and noises. But then they decided they liked it. And I didn't get fired. So that was great.
Getting fired is always good. I absolutely adore Art Arcana, and thank you so much, you and your co-authors on that. It's a beautiful book, and it's a real loving and literate history.
Do you guys know about this Art Arcana, Dungeons & Dragons? Go on Amazon or go to your bookstore. Better place to get it. And it's a visual history of Dungeons & Dragons that takes you from the early 70s all the way to modern day. And then we have another one coming out soon, within months I think, called Lore and Legends, which picks up where Art Arcana left off and describes the last 10 years of recent D&D history. You know, how we went from like D&D not doing so good and kind of on the precipice of just fading into oblivion, and then roaring back with the 5th edition.
Nice, absolutely looking forward to that. Ooh. Do you have a favorite D&D character of your own?
I'm usually the dungeon master.
Okay.
So it is, yeah, I hear laughter
No,
out there.
I know you mostly TM, but sometimes maybe you dip around on the other side of the screen.
No, I just murder my friend's characters. That's my guy. My guy
Your favorite
kills.
module is Tomb of Horrors.
Superiority complex.
That was a good one. I liked it. Tomb of Horrors was this Dungeons and Dragons adventure by Gary Gygax, the inventor of D&D, father of D&D, co-inventor of D&D. Basically, Gary writes this adventure module called the Tomb of Horrors, and it's the most sadistic piece of fantasy gaming literature ever created to this day, where it's really designed to kill all of your characters. So that's what he's referring to. The Tomb of Horrors is terrifying.
And he literally designed it as such. He got tired of people telling him, I got a character that can beat anything. Oh yeah? Sit down.
And the thing is, it's just this side of impossible. If you read it, you're like, this is nearly impossible to get through this alive. But the crappy thing is it's nearly impossible. You're like, a lot of people will get killed, but you could thread the needle and get through this. It's just that you probably won't.
No, probably not going to. Not going to. It's been a wild, crazy. It's been a crazy ride. What's been the best memory you've taken from being a part of the space universe?
Best memory of Space Universe? I mean, kind of all of it. You know what's funny is there's been other Space Universe stuff that I've done that I probably for years will not be able to talk about, because I do all kinds of weird space stuff sometimes behind the scenes. But all of them have been memorable. Meaning I remember them. I do remember that I did them. It's been fun. It's been great. I'm a huge fan of that stuff. And just sort of be able to try my hand at making it has been really interesting. Very interesting.
When the SAG sector is involved, we'll have a much more open conversation next time, I promise. But I'll tell you what, thanks for indulging my producer's curiosity. I'm just going to take some audience questions. And as we go along, we might have some prizes to give away. So, all right. Same rules before. Yeah, come on up. We'll do a line right here. Hello there, warrior. What's your name?
My name is Justin.
What do you want to know?
I want to know all of the characters that you portrayed. Huge huge fan of all of them. They're all so diverse and different from each other. Do you have like some kind of pregame like meditation or something that you do to get ready for to put you in the headspace for each individual character?
The question is, how do I prepare for the different types of characters? It depends. I mean, when it comes to creating a character from scratch, I mean, it's all about getting in the head of the character. When me and Dave Filoni started talking about how we were going to create Maul, there was never ever any discussion about how he should sound, what the voice should be like. It was simply that he felt that if we both got on the same page about who he was and what he was thinking, the performance would be right. And so then, as you sort of have those conversations, some ideas start coming to you about how to portray those ideas. We're talking about like Deacon St. John. One of the things that I thought was most important for him, which is a video game called Days Gone. What I thought was most important with Deacon is a sense that he was battling for his own sanity. Because I'm like, there's no way in that world, if we're playing it as real as we can, you wouldn't be sane. You would be really struggling, having a really hard time, mental health challenges aside. And so that was important. So it's all depending on the character. You want to make sure that the character is interesting enough to have the camera pointed at them. So you have to give them interesting points of view. It's really that. And there are words on the page, but you have to come up with really interesting opinions about those words. And that's really how it is. Maul's the same way. If Maul has a bunch of lines, you got to come up with like, you can't just go, well, he means that. He means this on the page. Like, no. This line's a lie. This one's a joke. This one, he's hiding a bunch of information that's really meaningful to him underneath that line. You know what I mean? You got to come up with interesting opinions about how and why he's saying these things. So,
Great costume, by the way. And of course, haven't read one, of course. Hey, what's your name?
Okay, I'm Tim. First, I'm surprised you're not wearing a Mr. Bundle shirt. Yeah, I know, but Mr. Bundle. So I have a question for you as a fan in the space world, okay? But I need to ask everybody else first a question that's still spotlight before I ask the question.
cool. Here, really speak up though, so because I think people are having a hard time hearing.
Has anybody here not seen the latest episode of Ahsoka? I don't want to ask the question.
You can't spoil it for them.
Right.
You can't.
Again, that's okay.
Ask me. Tell me what you want.
No, it's a spoiler.
Yeah.
It's a spoiler. It's a spoiler.
It is kind of spoiler. I tell you what, ask him at the table. Ask him at the table. Ask him at his table. Yeah. All right, that'd be great. All right, take a blue one. That's a hint. It's a blue one. It's a nonsense one. Take it. We're good.
Spoiler alert with that guy. Don't go anywhere near him. He's gonna spoil everything for you.
I asked.
He did ask. He did ask.
I asked.
You are forgiven.
If one person raised their hand, it's down.
I would have said no.
But
See, he's a man of honor.
He is. That's
He'll
why
spoil it for you, but not yet. He's got honor.
Whoa.
Hey, what's your name?
Words.
Nicholas, what do you want to know?
You have involvement because of your knowledge of Star Wars, and you even corrected Filoni about having never meeting Anakin's mom, and you said, well, in the Phantom Menace they actually did. Have you ever
Shamed him again.
No, not shamed him, but you don't have like an exact title, but do you ever wonder, maybe I shouldn't say this, maybe I shouldn't say that, or like what's it like being so heavily involved because of your knowledge of the world?
What in terms of saying?
Have you ever been hesitant to speak up in a moment like that?
You just speak up when you you have to weigh in your mind. You're like, how bad am I gonna make someone angry at me by saying something like that? Here's the thing. The thing that everyone has to remember is that when you have this much information to keep straight in a story like this, inevitably you steer in certain directions that need to be corrected for. He would have caught that, you know? He just would have caught it after the recording, and then we would have done a pickup session. So I might have saved him a little time there, you know? But there were plenty of times where I'm like, what if Maul did this and this, and he's like, well, yeah, but then doesn't that sort of blow this thing that happened to Return of the Jedi? I'm like, oh, you're right. So we're all trying to make it better, but the thing that I've learned is like, try to say it nice and try to read the room, consider the room before you say something like that. Because I remember this, I shouldn't tell this story.
Go ahead. You know you want
There was a
to.
situation where someone, and I'm not even going to say who, but someone was in a situation where they were being scrutinized by some other producers, and I didn't really appreciate that. I didn't appreciate that they were being watched in that moment. And I brought up something that was a completely legitimate concern, and a fixable concern. But it was something where people were doing something and something was going on, and I brought up this concern. And without intending, possibly embarrassed the person who was being scrutinized a little bit. And it's not like they didn't fix the problem in 5 seconds, they did. But what I should have done is gone up quietly and been like, hey, what do you think about this? You know? So that's the question, is sometimes how you bring this stuff up. Because under normal circumstances, these people would have been fine with this. But there were some outlanders in the room, some interlopers, and they may not have known that this is something that we do, right? So I'm sorry that I brought it up like that. Not that I intended anything bad, it's just that I should have been like, oh, they're gonna take this like this person doesn't know what they're doing. Whereas that's not what's going on here, you know? And it was such a minor thing that was fixed in 5 seconds, you know?
I can say I have a story. For Disney, I do scratch tracks for a certain gold little robot from Star Wars. We'll leave it at that. And the line they had me do was, the Ewoks worship me as a god. And I was like, don't you mean deity? Because that's the way he describes it in Jedi. And then I realized I stepped in it and there was that pause. And I could see them talking. And finally I was like, go ahead and go with deity. Well, that was the longest 5 seconds of my life.
Except for the fact that he uses both words in Return of the Jedi.
He does.
He uses God and David, just so you know. But I should have gone to him privately instead of in front of all of you guys. Because now you know what I mean?
Exactly. Correct.
This is wrong, what you're seeing right here. This is the wrong way to do it.
Yes.
So
Remember that next time in the booth. All right. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Christine.
Hi, Christine.
What was your favorite part about working on Horizon Forbidden West?
Favorite part of working on Horizon? Really, it was fun because that guy was such a D-bag. Like, really, what the hell was wrong with that guy? When I saw how they created his headquarters and just pictures of him everywhere and his hair, I'm like, what a D-bag. This guy sucks. So, you never want to judge a character that you're playing. But I kind of, I don't know what I was going for. Like, Howard Hughes meets, I don't know, maybe a little bit of William Shatner in there, I don't know. So to have I'm a very famous fan. It was fun. It was really fun. It was fun to be that big of a D-bag. But yeah. I loved how ridiculous they made him look. Because I thought that was sort of what I was going for. Was this sort of crazy Howard Hughes type guy, you know? So, but cult leaders, man, you know, they're all kind of D-bags, right?
There you go. Great costume, by the way. And of course, you get a red one for obvious reasons. Hey, what's your name? Brandon. What do you want to know?
You work on a lot of really big IPs. Do you ever find it hard when you're around like friends or family when they're talking about stuff and they have theories to not say anything or to mess with them and go, it's going to go this way, knowing full well that it doesn't?
When there really is a secret that needs to not get out there, you just shut off the part of your brain, you literally shut the blood supply off to the sector of your brain that holds that memory, so that there's no response. You know, I've actually been in that situation where I was like, there was this Lucasfilm, we were talking about all these theories we had about how this happened, how that happened, and there was a Lucasfilm documentarian there who was documenting our project while we were talking about a project that we weren't there for. And we were all throwing, well, I think this happened. Oh, I think George said this. Oh, did you hear that there was this idea in Phantom Menace that this and that, blah, blah, this and that. As I'm talking, we're all throwing our ideas out there. I'm looking over at this documentarian who's just kind of politely listening and super into our conversation. And if you were just looking at the conversation, you're like, well, this guy doesn't really know Star Wars as much, and he's there to just use his documentary crew. Until it occurred to me as I'm looking at him, like, he was on set. Guys, everyone stop. Everything we're talking about, he was present for. He shot it. And he's making us feel like we know more than him when he knows more than everyone in the room. I'm like, isn't that right? And he's like, and I was like, amazing. He let nothing betrayed his nothing. We could say something, he never even went like, no, just, interesting. Wait, but you know. Well, yeah. But then I was like, this guy's a good model for how you keep, because there are times where the secret's not that important and you're like, it's probably something like that. I don't know, it might be like this. But if it even approaches anything important or that would be spoilery, yeah, you shut it off. You forget that you know about it. And so people are talking about it and you're like, wait, Sam, do you know? What? I don't. Yeah. So yeah.
Great question. Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Tony. So, your portrayal of your character in the space animated series, the two that you were in, which one did you enjoy more? The one in the war, or the one about the guys that didn't follow rules?
The one in the war, or the guys that didn't follow the rules. I mean, the rebellious guys. Yeah. God, this code, right? I liked it both. Okay, so for the earlier series, with the younger version of the character that's on your shirt and on many shirts, I was constantly practicing and constantly drilling. So sometimes when I watch that show, I can sort of guess how he's going to say something or what he's going to say. But then for the later one, we've been doing him for a while, so I felt comfortable in that character. I was like, I think I know him now. So I was like, what happens if I don't practice as much for this one? Certainly prepare, learn what this is about, give him some interesting points of view. But what if I really don't? Because it used to be like I'd almost have to map out how the performance went. Like, what if I don't do that? What if he just sort of let him go? What does he want to say? And for that reason, in the second series, I find him to be totally unpredictable. I'm like, he'll say something, I'm like, whoa, what? We did that? That's crazy. This guy's nuts. Which works well for the character. He gets more eccentric as he gets older. He's more in control when he's younger. Yes. I'm trying to think. By the way, okay, we're going to be doing little trivia contests. I'm giving away a cassette of my band, the Crash Tones, a CD, and a vinyl, okay? So, we're going to be doing the cassette first, okay? Watch for the hands.
Yes.
Finish this quote.
Now raise your hands.
And
I'll
your
come
hand
to
needs
you.
to, your hand needs to go up. Boss, I see spaceport. You'll never find a more wretched. Finish the quote. It's gotta be word for word.
More wretched high must come and village.
You did it.
Come on out. What's your name? Hey. Come on out. Hey, come on out. Come on out. What's your name? Round of applause for Cade! We got two more giveaways.
Let that try.
Nice. Nice.
Now,
Nice.
Kate, do you have access to a cassette player?
My car's pretty old.
Say yes. They're a dime a dozen.
You know what's awesome though? Give me that cassette. What's cool is even if you don't have a cassette player, is that not beautiful?
That's cool.
And I say this because the artist who did this is the same artist who designed Star Killer. And also tons of the concept art that you have, the art in shows like Clone Wars, Rebels, or all the live action shows, the new Indiana Jones. She's badass. Her name is Amy Beth Christensen.
There you go. All right, Ron Arcade. What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Josh, and my question is, for Days Gone, what was the moment, like, going through the script or reading little bits about the character of Deacon where you're like, I gotta do this?
They didn't have a script, man. And for that reason, I was super moody. And I was like, so where does the story go? And John's like, well, I don't really know. I'm like, what? But we're shooting stuff. Yeah, no, we're gonna figure it out. I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna figure it out? Damn it, man, no! And so I was super moody about it. And then we would shoot scenes that sort of felt like more like Tango and Cash. Super comedic, then super dark, then this, then that, all these different things. And I couldn't see how any of these things lined up with each other. And I started asking him, like, but like, what happens? Show me a script. He's like, the script isn't written yet. I'm like, what is going on? And then John explained to me, he's like, you realize we built into the schedule time to experiment. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So we tried that comedic thing last time. Now we're going to be working on this, this, and that. We're going to be settling into the tone. Once we find the tone that we like and Sony likes, we're going to go on that train. We're going to go on. We're going to do that. So then we started settling into this very realistic tone, kind of ditching a lot of the wacky, bantery humor that Boozer and Deacon once had at one point. And we started going really dark. Like, now let's play it like this is really happening. And play it with this guy who's fighting for his own mental health. And then we really, everything we started shooting started making sense. And the moment John just basically said, no, we have the luxury of playing around. That's when the job got fun. I did that job for 4 years. So yeah, at first I was very mad and angry because I come from a world where whatever you shoot, that's what goes on TV or that's what's going to be in the movie. So I'm like, we don't know what we're shooting. You're going to make me look like a complete soul. Because my face. But then he made a note. He's like, no. We're messing around, and once we settle on the tone, we will reshoot the scenes that we've done that don't fit with that. We're going to go back and we'll hit those things again. And we did. And so, the first year I was very confused, and then the next 3 years was way too much fun. It was really, really engaging work. And I thought that cast was great, you know? Like, Jim Peary as Boozer is like the big brother you always wished you had. He's so cool. Courtney Draper was always going to bring something super unexpected to the role of Sarah. Just a bunch of great performances.
Great question, thank you. Hello, what's your name?
Kat. Hi. So I was thinking about questions that fell into the realm of being able to ask questions about to the SAG and the WGA and everything. I decided to kind of stick
Now,
away.
by the way, animated television, I don't think is being struck. The tricky thing is that these stories are related to other stories that are being struck. But I think we got some wiggle room because the animated stuff is not being struck.
So ask what you want to ask, and if we have to rephrase it, we'll rephrase it.
You can rephrase it or not. Yeah, we have wiggle room.
I came up with a question that I feel like falls within that and also has nothing to do with it. So you're involved with a lot of Star Wars stuff, a lot of the space things. Do you think that the Jedi Council has favorite pizza toppings, and what are they? Or do you think they get into arguments regularly, debates, spirited debates?
Yeah, Yoda's huge in a Hawaiian pizza. Mace Windu's like, no one likes it. I know everyone likes to be like sophisticated like they like it, no one likes it. And Yoda's like, pineapple, yes. And, you know, and of course, you know, yeah, and Obi-Wan's like, Qui-Gon, if you just pretend like you liked Neapolitan pizza, you'd be on the council. He's like, you have much to learn, Obi-Wan. So yeah, there were a lot of debates in the temple halls, and it's why they lost the war.
There you go. The final secret of Star Wars.
By the way, I don't have time on me, so you let me know when it's time for the next one.
We're at 2:32 right now.
2:32, so let me know when it's time for the next one.
Tell you what, we'll do the 5-minute mark and then the fun out. Sorry. Hi, what's your name? Chris, what do you want to know?
Well, what I really want to know is if Sam had a lot of joy in creating the Kenobi screen. And
I'm sorry, what was that?
did you enjoy doing the Kenobi screen for
No.
Rebels?
Did I enjoy it?
No,
Not at all.
Would never do
It
it.
hurts. I mean, no, but it was sort of something that I brought in there. Like I think this is what I remember. I remember that the dialogue is exactly as written, and he says Kenobi in there, and I remember going to Cam, the guy who's running the session. I'm like, hey Cam, listen, this line, make sure you bring the volume down a lot because I'm going to do something really loud. He's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this is really going to knock Dave's socks off. Watch this. And then, Kenobi, and I scream it. And finish the tape. And then afterward, Dave's like, okay, great, Sam, yeah, just play with that attitude. Yeah, let's just run another one, that's cool. Like, that just didn't even face him. He's like, yeah, okay, cool. And try it again with this. Okay, great. And then I did it 2 or 3 more times, and he's like, okay, Sam, I gotta stop you there. We have a full episode we have to record, and you're losing your voice already, so stop. So I thought I was gonna get all these congratulating, but Dave's like, okay, great, that's good. Moving on.
Hey, what's your name?
My name's Max.
What do you want to know?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to come over here and ask questions and whatnot, so I really appreciate that. And I gotta ask, I heard rumors about the space game, it's in the space world, and also the zombie game in the zombie world. I wanted to ask, did you ever get to play it?
Video games aren't being struck yet. So we're talking about Days Gone and Force Unleashed? The rumors are true, those are both real games. You can play them. Is that what it was?
Have you played them?
Have I played them? Oh, yeah. I'm a huge gamer. Yeah. So yes, I play with myself.
Yeah, you have a lot of friends.
Low-hanging fruit. That's not even like a good show.
And you have a lot of.
Give away a new prize!
And you have a lot of friends.
Change the
watching.
subject.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be looking for hands.
His friends like to
lightsabers
watch him
not
play
count.
him with himself. Or with all his other friends.
Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a harder quote for this. Revenge of the Crash Tones CD with artwork by Amy Beth Christensen. All right.
Who owns a CD player?
Finish this line.
The Sith and the Jedi are similar in almost every way, including their quest for...
You gotta raise your hand.
Finish it.
Power.
Yeah, he did it. He did finish it.
It's not exactly word for word. It's close. I'm going to give everyone else 5 seconds. What?
Absolutely.
Now he's getting further away. You're drifting. You're going to get it unless someone can come up with the exact word.
All right.
Ultimate power?
No, you guys are now in space. And you're floating, and it's getting very cold. If no one can come up with it, you got it.
But try it. Knowledge and power.
See, now that we're going like ABC's 1, 2, 3 Saturday morning cartoons, I appreciate that. Knowledge is power. You're right, sir. But I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah, all right.
The actual line is,
including their quest for greater power.
You were
So close.
Everybody else getting close, but you're the winner. And what was your name again?
Nicholas.
Everybody get on for Nicholas! And we will have one more to give away at the end. I think you're all fooled by the Mos Eisley quote. It's like, oh, okay, I got this. I was, so we really see who it is. All right, another round of applause for our winner. Hey. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Gabriel.
What do you want to know?
Are we allowed to ask about the canceled space game?
We're not striking canceled projects out here. You're good.
My question is, what
He's
was
too smart.
possibly going to happen in the game, or where you personally would have liked to see your character gone in the game?
Okay, so we had pieces, a lot of pieces of that story. Really more in conference. Hayden Blackman had some ideas. I know key things. I will say that I can't really give away most of it in case we ever go back. It's kind of like with the Clone Wars, like Dave would not, you know, we knew there was something called the Siege of Mandalore, right? We get canceled. We never get to finish it, but we know we're going to do something called the Siege of Mandalore. We don't really know what that means. Then we're doing Star Wars Rebels. And I was like, and I've been asking Dave, what was the Siege of Mandalore? And he just wouldn't tell me. But now we're doing Star Wars Rebels. It takes place after the Siege of Mandalore. So I'm like, aha! I got you, Dave. Because, what's the Siege of Mandalore? Maul knows. My character knows. So how am I supposed to play this? How do I know how to address Ashley? How am I supposed to motivate my character if you won't give me the information that my character has, Dave? What's the Siege of Mandalore? Tell me. Interesting, Sam. Using some really interesting logic there. Well, you got a good point because your character definitely knows, and I know, but you don't know, and I'm not going to tell you. And what I didn't know is that he kept that secret because he always wanted to go back to it. And I didn't know that. So I got to keep the secret in case we ever go back. But I will say that in the version that we were leading up to, it starts with the trial of Darth Vader, which does not go well for the prosecution. Very poorly, in fact. So yeah, there's this thing where everyone is gathering to finally put this war criminal on trial. And it doesn't go according to plan for anyone that's not on Darth Vader's side. So, yeah.
There you have it. And a red one.
Yeah, the idea being that yes, of course he allowed Starkiller to defeat him and take him captive. So.
All right. Hey, what's your name? What do you want to know?
So basically, I've played and put numerous hours into the Force Unleashed, and I was wondering if you talking to Filoni every now and then, like you said you do, how open would you be to a live-action Star Killer?
I'd shave my head tomorrow. I do. The tricky thing is that it's like you gotta. He's a character that, well, unless it's a quick cameo, it does require a little bit of an investment in screen time. If he's a quick cameo, he can get away with a lot, right? But if he's there for a little bit longer, he starts requiring an explanation. Who is this guy? Oh, Darth Vader. Oh, you know Darth Vader? Oh, what's that about? You know? So, but I like the idea of the symmetry between Ahsoka on one side as Anakin's Padawan and Starkiller as Vader's apprentice, and they have a lot of the same lightsaber styles. I thought that was really neat. I liked that.
There you go. Hey, great question. We're going to tackle one more question and I'll give away, so you'll be our last. I'm sorry to everybody in line. What's your name? Jason. What do you want to know?
Hello. So, you're into D&D. Awesome. If you were to put a class to Maul, Starkiller, or Aiden for being human, how would you class them?
Oh, that's tough. Aiden would be a 6th level heroin addict.
That's in Tasha's, right?
Yeah, it's in Tasha's. You're gonna love that. Yeah, it's a great prestige class. It's tough. Starkiller has that sort of marauder thing going on. But no, we're gonna go full Unearthed Arcana First Edition Barbarian for Starkiller. Ooh. Yeah, you didn't see that coming, right? Roll your Barbarian Rage. And then, what was it? It was you.
Maul, Aiden, and Starkiller.
Maul's a bard. He just wants to talk and be heard. he's a poetic guy, you know? Which was always scary. That was scary because we're like, you know, I've got an idea. Which character do people like? Oh, they like that Darth Maul guy. Cool. Yeah, that silent guy? Yeah. Let's take that character and make him never stop talking. This is gonna go really well. This is gonna be amazing. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna think that, but it doesn't mean the world is gonna think that. I mean, you know, we were very worried we were gonna ruin it. We were very worried we were gonna spoil the character. So I'm glad that people seem to think we didn't. But for a week or two there, I got some nice online hate. That was good. That was some good stuff. Why'd you get these spider legs, man? It's not even the same character. Why would you call Darth Maul? I hate you! You know, so, but that only lasted for about a week or two. And then people got really nice. Because I think they were afraid of what I would do to them. Yeah. Okay. I have my final trivia question for a vinyl copy of Revenge of the Crash Tones. Vinyl. These are we're selling them at the table if you guys want these as well, in case you miss it.
So who's got a record?
Okay.
Me too. I got all three.
What should I do? Okay.
I don't have the answers.
Okay. Shit. Okay.
Tatooine is sparsely populated. If the trace is correct, I shall.
All right, can you steal it this time?
Find them quickly.
Bingo.
Got it.
What's your name? Brandon.
Nice. That's a big signature on a nice size album. See, those will be pretty rare.
Do we attempt? I have that.
Yeah.
All right, well, he cited that. He said, let's do one more, so I'll take hands. Who's got a quick
He missed you. He missed you.
Somebody, young lady at the end there. All right, what's your name?
Kirsten. I actually had a question that wasn't about Star Wars. Sorry.
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
That's okay.
I'm actually a really big fan of Being Human, and I was wondering if you would consider doing a show in that genre again, and what type of character would you play?
So to slightly another horror-based social drama.
It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetical. If the show or movie was about as real grounded issues as we could get, because as far as I was concerned, I wasn't playing a vampire, I was playing a drug addict. You know? I thought that's what made that show work. You know, I remember Sam Huntington would always yell. He loved yelling in his scenes until I realized, no, he's absolutely, wait a second. He's totally right. He's not playing a werewolf, he's playing a guy who's really mad. He's really angry. And you don't think it because he's all kind of silly and this and that, but then someone just yells. He's got anger issues. But yeah, he's right. I love that he's playing it this way. And Megan Rath, you know, she wasn't playing a ghost, she was playing someone with social anxiety and afraid to go out, didn't quite know how to bridge that gap. So if it was something along those lines where you could really relate it to something in real life, then you got me. So, but I loved doing that show.
You guys got a lot going on. Anything on the immediate horizon that we can look forward to, that you're allowed to share?
Yeah, immediate horizon is striking. Showing up and striking. And yeah, the strike thing is really important, guys. Thanks for trying to play ball with it, because the way that I came up, if anyone thinks that my contribution to anything has been okay or worthwhile or you've enjoyed it, I couldn't have made it in modern conditions if I was starting now. If I was 19 or 20 now, trying to be an actor, there's no way. I wouldn't have been able to do it. You know, the conditions are such that the next generation is getting kind of squeezed. We're all getting squeezed hard. But I feel bad for the people that haven't really had a chance to make their mark or try to put away a little money so that they can weather things like a strike. So it's very important, and thank you so much for supporting writers and actors. You know, we're trying to do something where we can prolong the health of this industry. Because unfortunately, what we're learning is the studio heads are looking at it like, look at that hill over there. We're like, yeah, we love that hill. Yeah, there's gold in that hill. We're like, yeah, we know. We mine very carefully, and no, just blow the whole hill. You're like, there's people that live on that hill. I know, there's gold. You know, and you're like, but if you blow the hill up, yeah, you take a bunch of gold, but like then we have no more hill. They're like, we don't care. We'll be on to the next hill. They're like, I think film and television have an ability to get to people and to tell stories that are important, that help us get through things or inform the way we approach problems or know how to relate to other people. Storytelling, mythology, this is part of what makes us human. To them, it's a hill with gold in it. So we appreciate that you guys are completely understanding about this. We're trying to create something where we're not going to become rich, but we'll be able to keep doing it. I want to see young actors get in there, have an opportunity to build a career, you know, which starts usually very slowly, eating 25-cent burritos and saving up for large pieces of little pizza, Little Caesars that you eat for the rest of the week. And it's a pretty glorious, fun, hungry existence, but you can make it happen. You can do it back in the day. These days, I don't know how you do it. So we're trying to get back to a point where this all becomes more accessible. Otherwise, you just have a bunch of rich people sending their kids to be actors, and who wants to see a bunch of rich people act? I do. But that's just because I'm weird. No, but seriously, it'll become a rich person's profession. And it'll be only the people whose families are already rich sending their kids, who've already got everything paid for, who can weather the storm of being a young actor. And that's not going to be good for the industry. Nothing against rich people's kids or anything, that's fine. But also, it's a better profession when anyone can try to go there and roll the dice. It's important.
Should be a meritocracy.
Yes, it should be who's showing the talent. Yeah.
Ocala Comic Con 2023. This is Sam Witwer.
Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Oh yeah, something.
All right, we're going to do a stage selfie with you and our amazing guests. Come on towards the stage. Not on the stage, but towards the stage. We want to get a picture of all of you and our guests.
That's funny.